We were pretty famous back in high school. Trust us!
Had a whole future ahead of us, but now we suck.
All that potential now is flowing in the aqueducts.
Through the sands of time, many did forget.
But now our time has come to resurrect. But a podcast?
Sad I know, but can you blame us?
We are desperate to be much more than high school famous.
All right, let's do this. Hey, hello, welcome to High School Famous. Don't shake your head at me, Sean.
It's like you put awkwardness into it that wasn't naturally going to be there.
Just a test. This is just a test, right?
We're going.
We're testing.
Nope,
all right, scrap it. Let's do it again.
Fuck that.
We're on now.
We'll do it live.
We'll do it live. Fuck it. We'll do it live. So today is a kind of an impromptu recording because we were supposed to be playing D&D tonight, but our DM had to cancel on us. So this is the D&D crew minus Snooze Magoo. I went for the rhyme. Fuck it.
Snooze crew minus Snooze Magoo.
Yep.
Kind of sounds like the Goo crew.
Yeah, bringing it back to the Goo crew.
Yeah.
Do you know what was bizarre? I listened to that episode that Mike was with you guys, and it was really fucking weird hearing him be like, and we're live on TikTok over here. And he's like reading comments from his thing. That was really cool.
So, I was going to say real quick. So joining Sean and myself tonight is former guests Eric and Mark.
Hello.
Hey.
We were told there would be a test.
The test recording. I think I alluded that I was just going to test it out to make sure all four of us were recording this time. We are all recording, so I just went with it.
You just rolled with it, yeah.
Just rolled with it. Screw it. So, yeah. Sean was going to say something, and then now he walked away.
All I see is this Christmas tree.
Yep.
Well,
it's kind of a
nice
better
Christmas
view.
Tree. I agree.
Wait,
no, you're blocking
the view's ruined.
Oh, gee.
I can scooch over here.
Yeah,
No, it's fine. It's fine.
Oh, okay.
It's just gonna emphasize how bad the rest of the view looks.
Well, yeah. What was I gonna say?
I don't know.
I forget.
Talking about something about Mikey talking about being on TikTok and stuff, and you were gonna.
Oh, the funny thing about that was we couldn't have guests. We couldn't invite guests onto the official High School Famous TikTok account. So we were recording the podcast live on TikTok, but we were on Mike's account, so he was the one that was getting all the attention. We weren't getting, visitors.
We got a couple TikTok followers out of it, though.
We did.
How does that work? I mean, why couldn't you have guests on your account? Do you not have enough?
I don't know what it is, because
something that was weird about it.
It is weird because my personal account you can invite guests onto. Just the podcast account isn't. I don't know why. It just can't do it.
I see. Well,
the part about it that was weird to me was hearing Mike talk to a live audience and interact with the live audience. Like he was the content creator, bringing the people in. Just like I was waiting, because you listen to so many podcasts, you consume so much media. I was waiting for him to be like, "Hey guys, I want you to smash that subscribe button on Matt and Sean's channel. I want you to get into their Patreon. That's patreon.com/hsfamouspod. Start doing all the regular
Smash
shit.
that,
And hit that notification bell so you never miss when a new video posts.
Yeah, exactly. Very weird to hear Mike do that, but
why does everybody want everyone to smash the like button?
no, don't smash it. It'll break it.
Yeah, and the thing is that you can't. I mean, you can click so hard on your mouse. It's not going to be any more or less effective. On the computer itself.
Well, it's like in Battlelords when you get a critical hit with your gun. You're not pulling the trigger any harder.
Right.
Yes.
Also, wouldn't it make more sense to use the alliteration of smash that subscribe button?
I don't know.
No.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Yeah, I think I'd rather pound the like button.
Well, the SNS thing.
I'd rather ram it.
Yeah, okay.
So smash the like.
So smash the subscribe button. Well, what can we do with the like button?
Now, how would you like button? Lick the like button. Smash
the like button. Like button.
You need some physical action for the like button.
And freak that follow button.
Get nasty with the notifications so you know when we're live.
Flap it. Flap that follow button.
Flap it.
Miss follow button if you're nasty.
Now, Eric,
Ew.
if you flap a button in real life, it's not going to do anything. it's not how you use a button. So you can't flap a virtual button either.
Are you saying I don't know how buttons work?
I'm saying if you're trying to flap them, no. If you're trying to press them or
I guess I'm envisioning the proverbial big red button that has the case over it. You have to flap that thing open and then
gotcha. So that's what you're flapping open.
Yeah. Yeah, the plastic case over the top of it, so you don't accidentally press it.
You think it's plastic?
I don't know what else. I mean, it could be glass, but it's kind of intricate to have a hinge and whatnot.
Yeah.
I doubt it's glass.
I doubt it's glass.
Bulletproof glass. You don't want to accidentally shoot that button.
I mean, it might be like it might have a glass cover.
What if maybe it's acrylic?
Yeah, it could be like a plexi something.
But I mean, is acrylic? What is acrylic? Is it plastic?
Yeah, it's a blend of plastics.
Yeah.
Isn't it harder than plastic though?
I think it's a type of plastic.
Yeah, it's the composites that are in it that make it acrylic.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
I think it's a harder, more hardened version of plastic, maybe though.
Like it's just tougher than your run-of-the-mill plastic.
Yeah,
different color pellets when I worked.
It's like bulletproof plastic.
It's tempered.
Yeah, maybe it's Kevlar.
It's Kevlar.
Yep,
Kevlar?
It's clear Kevlar.
Sure. Kevlar's fibers, right? Though
Kevlar is fibers. Yeah, it's like.
Let's not worry about that. Fibers can be clear.
So acrylic is basically plexiglass, and plexiglass is plastic.
Yeah.
So
That's
I think
funny.
it's just a harder version of plexiglass.
Well, I mean, bulletproof glass has plastic in it too, like the covering of it. It's plastic.
Your bulletproof glass
isn't.
No, bulletproof glass is like layered glass, but then on the outside of it, it's got a plastic layer as well.
Oh, I thought you said you had some sort of bulletproof glass somewhere.
Oh, who knows? I have so much shit laying around. You never know what I might have.
Yeah. Who knows what you eat?
Get a slab of bulletproof glass.
Who knows what
just
you're
sitting
eating
around.
Yeah.
Yeah, as you do.
It's funny. I opened all these snack bags, and I don't want to make noise. I don't want to reach into them to grab anything and make.
Oh, you don't want to do another scenario where we try to make people guess what we're eating?
Did we do that?
Yes. We did that. Yeah, when I was at your place the one time, we went and bought snacks at Cub, and then we went back, and then we were eating them.
That's right.
Very centrally into the microphones, and
I remember that now.
Yeah. It was very intimate.
As usual, we never got any feedback on that, which is why I forgot about it.
One person told me it was gross.
They didn't submit any guesses to what you were eating. They just said, that's disgusting.
They said, I didn't like that part where you were eating.
It was gross.
Most of it just all sounded the same. So
was that your mom or was that Iman?
No, neither.
Oh, neither. Wow.
Yeah, third party.
Well, those two would also be third party.
Any reaction is good reaction, right?
Sure. Yeah. Unless the reaction is stop.
Your short career as an ASM podcast.
Stop can be a good reaction too. You got to be careful because if you're like, oh no, I don't like this reaction of stop, you can get yourself in some very dangerous territory.
Correct, but I'm speaking in reference to making a podcast, producing.
Oh
content.
yes, yeah, no, that's terrible. Yeah,
if the reaction is stop, then you don't like it.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
It's a bad reaction.
Sean, it looks like you're wearing earrings because there's ornaments that are directly behind your head. They're very nice earrings.
Yeah, it's a good look.
Yeah.
It is very weird.
Have to keep
you just gotta stay very still.
The episode.
I like it.
Which is not a very good look.
Yeah, that's a nice visual for the podcast.
Neither of which transfers to the audio medium very well.
Yeah, this medium is not doing it justice.
None of this is for the audience.
Kind of gold color. They're a little sparkly.
Yep. They're illuminated.
Slightly pointy with the pine needles.
Yeah, they're like the lights that look kind of like little pine cones or something. I don't know what they look like, but they're not your typical little tiny bulb string lights. They're a little bigger.
Is that a real tree? No, that's not a real tree.
Incorrect. It is a false tree.
But it's a real tree, real frost. It's very cold.
Yeah.
I didn't see that it's frosty. Okay, now I see that it's frosty. All right.
Can't you see my breath?
It's got them sweet 90s frosted tips, bro.
Frosted tips.
Sean's just outside podcasting. I didn't get the apartment, but I wanted to the date. We did.
I didn't. Yeah, I didn't get an apartment yet, but I don't want to be in this house.
Yeah.
But great Wi-Fi signal out here still.
Yeah, I'm chilling at the park.
Oh.
We put our
literally chilling.
Literally chilling.
It was good. It was good.
My reaction to that is stop.
Oh.
Oh.
It's terrible. Bearcat, did you watch any of the Wheel of Time yet?
Sorry, what was that?
Did you watch any of the Wheel of Time yet?
I haven't yet. No, I've been waiting until they're all up and then I'll binge it.
Okay, I haven't watched any of it either. I did finish Cowboy Bebop though.
Yeah, I fell off that bandwagon. Like the first 2 episodes are awesome, and then finish it up.
He finished it because it's canceled.
Yeah. Yeah, from what I read is like they had really good viewership for like the first 2 or 3 episodes, and then it just crashed. And they're like, "Yeah, nobody finished the series. We're not doing it again," which is unfortunate. I mean, what I watched, I enjoyed, but it wasn't.
That's so funny. Mike said he did not even make it past the theme song in the first episode.
Oh, really?
He saw the credits and he was like, "Nope." And I watched the first episode, and I wasn't wild about it. I was like, it might be okay. Sarah really liked it. And then by the 3rd episode, I was like, oh, okay, I can see why this is appealing.
Mike must only read books that have awesome looking covers.
Mike is exceptionally critical of most media.
Yeah. Well, especially if it's media like based off of something he actually already enjoys.
Agreed. I understand that. Yeah. That's why I'm a little hesitant to watch The Wheel of Time.
See, you have a more of a relationship with The Wheel of Time than me. I read it, but I only read it once, and it was on your recommendation. And
did you read the whole thing, though? Because it is a fucking slog, let me tell you.
No, I didn't read the whole thing. I read like multiple volumes, but I did not finish it. No.
Because like the last like 2 or 3 that Robert Jordan actually wrote they're good, but they are a slog because there's like a whole book that's like 800 pages of them not doing a fucking thing. And it's like, it's kind of, I think it was during his decline.
Right.
I don't know. But then Brandon Sanderson picked it up, and I like Brandon Sanderson. I think he does a good job, and I think he did a good job finishing out the series.
It is interesting though that they picked it up.
I mean, that whole series I loved it through middle school and high school. I read the shit out of it. I probably read it like 3 times. It was really good. But yeah, it's 13 books, and none of them are less than 700 pages. It's a fucking slog, let me tell you.
Mm-hmm.
Did you go to any parties?
No. Did you know me in high school?
I was about to say you knew him. He didn't go to any party unless they were at like Benno's house.
Unless we were throwing them, or
exactly.
Yeah.
And even then, he maybe wouldn't come.
I know. He's like too busy
reading.
He'd be
like, no, I'm reading The Wheel of Time.
I'm in book 8 of
I have so many books to read.
Yeah. Some of them still have shit in them.
Yeah, I haven't read the shit out of these yet.
Nope. Gotta get them out. Get that out.
You had the anti-prom party in high school.
I did.
So,
you guys,
oh god, I forgot about that.
That's good times.
Sean and I were too busy having dates at prom.
I mean, I technically had a date. Did I spend any time with her at prom? No.
Same. And I was dating and I went with a person I was not dating at the time. I was dating somebody else that was also at prom, but I didn't go to prom with, and I didn't spend any time with her or my date, to be honest.
You're a good person.
I know. I was having too much fun hanging out with my friends, like I did every day in high school. Anyways, my priorities were really fucked.
I mean,
could not miss an opportunity to do that, right? But yeah,
there he is. Now we can see Eric.
Everybody bitches about my light. I was on a Zoom call earlier, and the guy was bitching about, "Are you in a dungeon?" I'm like, "No, I'm not in a fucking dungeon. I just don't like bright lights."
That dungeon has very nice drywall.
I'm glad they gave you your computer in the dungeon.
Yeah, and your Wi-Fi signal.
I would say, what are the odds that someone is actually in a dungeon when they ask that? Just like just like if a phone connection is bad, and they're like, "Are you underwater?" I
mean, yes.
Just to compile a list of stupid questions people ask all the time.
I mean, yeah.
That's a good one.
Be a Jack Handy book right there.
Yeah.
Stupid questions.
So, do you have any stupid questions for us, Matt, as the co-host of this podcast for Eric and myself?
This is so impromptu. I did not plan anything. I could probably find some really quick though. Let me see.
You mean like Google, where 100 stupid questions to ask anyone in 2021?
Is that a thing?
I Googled it.
Or
Just
Smith.
now?
Yeah.
Okay, Eric asked us some stupid questions.
These aren't very good. I'll tell you that right now.
Well, I'm assuming they're stupid.
By
Okay,
definition.
very stupid. Like, why is it that we call something cool when it's not really cold?
Oh,
It's so stupid.
Jesus. I don't know.
They're so
I
out
don't know
of
the
touch.
answer. I don't know the answer to that.
Who invented the word book?
That's not a stupid question. I mean,
No, it's not.
that's a good question.
Yeah.
Well, what is
It
the
would be-
etymology of
This isn't. Maybe you need to ask like.
These seem
we're
like they're
talking-
less stupid questions and just more like thought provoking like things.
Yeah,
like,
we're
oh,
talking
who did
stuff
that?
like working
I don't know
hard
how
and
you
hardly
frame
working.
Yeah.
This is just like stoner dorm room shit. Who invented the word book, dude?
Yeah.
I mean, so that's kind of more of what I was looking for. These are actually questions that you would ask somebody that
How
are
about-
stupid.
How
which-
about this? What are 3 things you could buy at a grocery store to make the cashier give you a weird looks?
I just read that one and I was like, I don't want to read these anymore.
Oh,
Ooh,
sorry. I failed us all.
Well, this is 30 dumbest questions ever asked online. Should I tell my parents I'm adopted?
Oh.
I don't think anyone here can speak to this. As someone who's had, well, except myself, obviously. As someone who's had,
Hold on. Is
Maybe
that
we can have that conversation.
are you
They
telling
had the
are,
conversation. You did.
are you telling your adopted parents or your birth parents?
I don't have to divulge that. I don't need to get into it. You just need to understand that some people have experiences that you haven't. So
No, I'm just asking generally of the group here. Think about that. Are you telling your adoptive parents that you're adopted, or are you telling your birth parents that you're adopted? Because maybe your birth parents don't know if you ever got adopted.
if I was telling my adopted parents that I was adopted, it would probably sound like something my sister would say at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not going down that route. I guess I would be telling my adopted parents, like, you know, in a gotcha, or my birth parents in a gotcha form. Like they come out to the grocery store and I'm like, haha, I'm adopted.
Yeah. You tried to murder me. But guess what?
The adoption failed, Mom.
Like, we got abortion and adoption mixed up.
Yeah.
They both start with A. They end in shun.
Yeah, they
This is
both
like
do end
very-
in chun.
Okay, so go ahead, Beckett.
No, I was just looking through these questions. One of these I thought was kind of funny. Why are the holes in cats' fur always in the right places for their eyes?
What?
Yeah.
Why are you wearing that dumb human costume?
Why are you wearing? Yeah. I know.
Why is the hole in the skin in the right place for human eyes? What a dumb thing.
I don't know. That's what made me laugh. Made me chortle a little bit.
What in the H?
So, Eric, why do you feel the need to go out of the way to proclaim yourself as a typical human?
It asked for my my pronoun,
Yeah.
and I entered typical human. Typical human person.
I used to put them.
Them.
Yeah. You can make them up
Oh, you're talking about when you log into the
Yeah,
to the thing.
you can
Yeah.
choose
Yeah.
pronouns.
What is going on here?
I mean,
Okay.
I also didn't enter my correct name, so
Well, so
nobody's commenting on that.
let me ask you this, and I think you were all there. Speaking of high school, high school famous or whatever,
Quota.
We met our quota.
All right.
bringing it back on track. And all the snow that happened last night in Minnesota, at least. Schlegel, did
Speak
you
for
get
yourselves. Yeah,
That's
no,
good.
we're good.
Sean?
Nice
how much
and
did you get?
it's nice and dry here.
Hmm?
Just
Did
the
you
way I
get
like
right
it.
here.
Okay, because it was like 6 inches here, but it was like 12 inches in Richfield.
All right.
Oh,
Size.
Very.
Mark's
did
a
not get
size
that.
queen.
Well, so I'm just saying, do you remember going from my parents' house to Perkins on the back roads in the snow?
It was
Two-
vice versa.
Was it? Oh, well, you'd gone to Perkins.
So
you were
we
headed
got
back.
2 Perkins. Yeah, so we got 2 Perkins, and it was snowing, but it was fine. But
Well, in
by the
retrospect,
time we got to Perkins to the time we left, there was like an extra foot of snow on the ground,
Yes.
and it took us. What would you say? Typically, that was what, a 5-minute drive, Perkins to your parents' house, maybe
Well,
5 to 7 minutes.
7 minutes,
Depending-
probably.
What did it take us? About 2 hours to get back from Perkins to your parents' house that night?
It was a miserable amount of time. That
Oh,
it
that was
wasn't miserable at all at the time. It felt super fun.
no. I don't
It
know
was
why.
awesome.
I don't know why that was such a like gloriously fun adventure for some reason. It was what, 4 of us, or was there more of us
It was
to
a-
rhyme again? It was two vehicles.
It was two vehicles. I know that.
So there was, and I think there was at least, I know it was at least you and Sean and myself and Josh, because it was your car and Josh's car.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't remember if anybody else was with us.
I don't know if I was there.
But it was, it took us 2 hours to get those two cars from Perkins back to Mark's parents' house because of how bad the snow was.
Eric stayed at Mark's parents' house while we went to Perkins.
He was reading the shit out of their book collection.
He was reading Wheel of Time.
It's a tomb.
No, but I don't think I was there, but I do remember quite a few nasty car rides home from Denny's back to Mark's parents' house.
There was a lot of those.
You know what I was thinking about the other day? I got passed on 394. I was in the middle lane and this dude passed me in the fast lane, and I was already going I looked down and I was like, oh shit, I'm going 80. And this dude flew fucking past me. And I was thinking about racing from Bearcat's house to my parents' house on 169. And when we would go 2 cars full of people, just being absolute terror, coming up on people and passing them at the last fucking second and then cutting back in front of them. Oh my God. Do you remember Josh running from the cops, speaking of Denny's, and driving like a crazy person? And getting away?
I was never with him for any of those.
Yeah, neither was I.
Things, which is good.
Mark, I remember there was a time when we went. I remember you called me up and you're like, "Hey, do you want to see The Exorcist?" And this was when they had re-released it in theaters. Yes. And you're like, "Yeah, I don't have a car. Can you come and get me?" And you drove from Elk River to Zimmerman, and we went back to Elk River. And I remember the showtime was in half an hour. So it starts in half an hour. I'm like, "Are we gonna be able to make it?" And you're like, "Yeah, don't worry about it, dude." We went 110 miles an hour the whole way.
I drive a Cutlass Sierra or whatever the hell it was.
Cutlass Supreme.
It was a Cutlass Supreme, yeah.
We made it.
I got it mixed up. My dad drove a Sierra, so I got it mixed up.
It was called the FS, though. It was the family.
The FS.
Yep.
We were both driving Cutlass Supremes at the time. Mine was quite a bit older.
Yours was a fucking tank. It was just a giant, 1,000, an insane amount of weight, of metal behind it. Nothing.
Yeah, that car was giant.
It was called the Green Mile.
It was so loud.
It was not called the Green Mile.
And Sean didn't have a car for a while.
Nope.
He had the Buick
for a long time.
Riviera, right?
What's up?
Did you have a Buick Riviera?
No,
Buick.
Regal.
And Bearcat had the worst luck with cars with the little Jeblet.
Little Jeblet.
Love it.
What was that? It was the. I remember when we one of the movies we filmed or whatever. I put an in memoriam at the end of it for the van. It was the van was like an 87 or something, and then the door.
It had a 1987 door,
but it was like an
1990.
Okay, so I put 2 in memoriams, one for the door and one for the van itself.
Well, you had the Jeblet.
We drove that thing to Chicago. And then it overheated.
Yes,
and then when I tried to open up the hood,
I
broke the cord to open the hood, so I had to kick the grill in to get the hood open to put oil in it because I ran out of oil. It was a good time.
Right.
Jesus,
there was 6 of us in that car.
Yeah.
There would have been 6 of us sleeping in that goddamn car too if we didn't get into the Christian whatever presentation hotel.
Yeah, there was a convention going on there, and you're like, guys, we need to be 25 to rent a hotel in Illinois. And we're like, oh shit.
Yeah, luckily Mark had a credit card and knew how to sweet talk the host.
Yeah. Do you remember
21 or whatever? We weren't either of those things.
We were 18 or 17.
I had to go into one of those hotels, many of those hotels, and then get denied. And then the one dude, I was like, do you have any advice? And he's like, well, call this place. And I called him and I told him the situation. And he's like, I don't know, man. Just show up with confidence and be like, look, I'd like to rent a room and put your credit card down and just, you really got to sell it. And I was like, all right, thanks, man. And then we went across the street to that hotel and I was like, I'd like to rent a room. And the guy was like, I just talked.
It's like, this is a little aggressive.
I was like, yeah, that was me, man. And he's like, oh my God. And then that was the place that we ended up staying because he's like, just if you cannot make a fucking sound.
We're like, we just want to sleep. We're exhausted. It's like midnight.
There's a Christian conference here. I don't know what y'all are here for a concert. Fine. I don't care. Just I don't want one complaint. Okay. And I was just like, oh, thank you, dude.
And we're like, can we get drinks sent to our room?
Terrible idea.
No, and then it was like literally all of us were just like, yeah, we just want to fucking sleep. We've been in the car for like 7 hours and
Yeah,
we have
we're
a
not
concert
all-
to go to tomorrow.
Yeah.
We just want to just sleep and be on our best behavior.
The worst we're going to do is read the 10th book in a 13-book series. That's the worst we're going to do.
Having been to that,
Eric almost didn't go to the concert.
having been to that theater again now,
Because he couldn't pack his books.
Yeah.
there's absolutely no way that concert was not oversold. There's
Oh,
no
it
way.
was horribly oversold.
No,
It was
Actually,
terrible.
seeing that show, having seen, because we saw the Mars Volta there, right, Bearcat?
Mm-hmm.
So seeing the Mars Volta in that fucking venue and like
Crickets.
no, it was like where we were sitting, like we had enough space, and like thinking back to when we were in high school, I was like, oh my god, how did they let that many people in
Yeah.
here? You remember? It was like just nobody.
That place maybe sits 3,000 people. Maybe.
Yeah, there had to be at least 5 in there when we were
yeah,
there.
It was so
insane.
ridiculously packed.
Fucked.
Like
absolutely.
I think we eventually, because we were up, like we were pretty close because we had floor, and we were pretty close to the front, probably like mid front.
Was it general admission, or did we actually have?
It was general admission. We had floor, and then there was the seating upstairs.
Oh,
So I
yeah,
think
okay.
I think seating was sold for seating, but we had floor.
Man,
And
I hated.
at one point,
you guys always wanted to have floor tickets. I always wanted to have seats, and I'm just like,
dude. Now, after a while, I was like, "Fuck this!" Like, I just
Yeah.
can enjoy this. I can enjoy this concert now.
Exactly, you can enjoy it.
You know, you guys could have got your own damn tickets and then stopped complaining about where they were.
Well,
I
the thing is though, is like if
Sean-
you wouldn't
Sean
have
was
got the
always-
tickets the way you did, we wouldn't have never ended up getting anything because they
No.
sold out so fast
No,
anyway.
we took. Yeah, we
So
took.
it was like, well, fuck it. And for a long time, it was like floor tickets are awesome. We're in,
Yeah.
the mosh pit, blah, 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 and all that shit. But then now as an adult, I'm like, oh god, I can't. Like, no, if I can't sit at a
wanna sit
concert, I'm
down.
not going.
Dude.
No, that Tool concert though, like we ended up. I know me and Mark at least after a while were like, let's just go to the back because I can't enjoy this. I'm just like suffocating in people here.
And remember, like how long it took to get water, and we were just like
fucking
fucking dripping sweat. It was ridiculous, dude.
And the people were just horseshit. Like having gone to concerts for so long in Minnesota, where like, oh, somebody fell down, pick them up. This was like, oh, somebody's fallen down, stomp the shit out of them.
Yeah.
Like it was just horrible.
Very weird. So I don't know if you guys have done this. I haven't
I
listened.
can stand on them and get a better view.
I haven't listened to your catalog, but let's assume that everybody started going to concerts at around the same age, like in high school or whatever.
Mhm.
So then, what was your first concert? What was your
we're
first like if you want a party question or whatever? What was your first concert, and then what was your first one that like you really enjoyed? Because you might not have liked the first one you went and saw.
So
You know what I mean?
Okay.
the first concert I went to, I got a ticket with John's family. I think it was maybe 15 or 6. I was probably 16.
Oh, I
I
know.
went to AC/DC.
Yeah, dude, I remember.
We
DC.
had nosebleed seats. Like we literally sat at like at the Target Center, like at the back, like against the wall. It was cool. I had fun. But I think shortly after that,
You were literally back in black.
birthday at the Quest, which was a fantastic concert.
Sean, don't give me that. What was the question one? Sorry. Go ahead. Say that again. Soulfly. Okay.
Soulfly. Yep, Soulfly was awesome.
And who opened for them? God damn it! It was some B act. I can't remember what it was, but they were some rap rock group. I don't remember what the heck it was, but
I'm 100% sure I have the ticket stub, but
I have it somewhere too. I don't know. Anyway, who's next?
Sean.
So my very first concert was that free concert that the Pumpkins did, Smashing Pumpkins, back in '98. And the very next day, it was the summer before I turned 16, so I was still 15. And the next day we went to Ozfest '98, and that was the year that the Warped Tour and Ozfest were at Somerset at the same time. So that was an awesome weekend.
Nice.
Man, there was so many people on Ozfest '98, dude. Holy shit.
Yeah.
And that's weird too, because those two festivals, it was kind of like bringing it back to high school or whatever. There was different kind of kids in high school. You were an Ozfest kid or you were a Warped Tour kid. Like you had checkered shoes if you were a Warped Tour kid, and black shoes if you were an Ozfest kid, you know?
Right.
Well, because Ozfest was it was the concert. It was the 2 stages, and that was it. Warped Tour, you got a few little stages that you can walk around to and from. And there's a half pipe where people are doing tricks. They got skateboarders and stuff. There's like tattoo booths and just a whole bunch of other different kind of things.
Nobody chimes in for the full pipe.
Yeah, no one
Chips in, I should say. Nobody chips in for a full pipe. They always go half.
It's a cost-cutting thing.
Yeah.
You know how much full pipes cost?
I mean, you can just bring 2 halves.
I mean,
you could do that.
As an engineer, like
system.
a freaking 108-inch pipe is a lot of money. Like,
I suppose. It's
Probably
pretty.
takes
I guess
almost-
it's pretty impractical too. They're
Yeah.
never going to use the upper half. So
No.
So my first concert.
I know what this is.
Yeah,
I think I know what it is.
you do. So, go ahead, Sean. What was my first concert that I ever went to?
New Kids on the Block.
Yes.
NKOTB, NKOTB, NKOTB.
So that was that. In what 90 or something. I don't even remember when it was. I was super
Wow.
young.
Yeah, I wasn't there.
you were like
Yeah.
6 years old.
Something. What in
No,
90? No, I was
no,
8. I
no,
was 8 or 90.
8.
It was probably before that, honestly. It was
Yeah.
probably like 88, 89, something like that. Very, very vaguely remember any of that. And then I can't think of like what's the first like real fucking I mean, that was a real concert, but
You know what I mean?
it was probably, yeah. But like, I mean, honestly, I'm not sure if Clambake happened before like we saw Tool for the first time or anything like that. It might have been Clambake, to be honest.
Clambake was like 98, 99,
I
something
think it
like
was
that.
Yeah, I think it was 98. Because I looked it up a while ago because I saw the whole set list. So that was pretty cool because who was all there? There was
There was a shitload of people there
a lot of bands there.
I went to Clambake and I was jealous as hell because I was like,
Yeah.
oh, and there were so many good bands there.
I
Like
never.
Christina and
Stained
shit.
was there.
Stained.
Wasn't Cold Chamber there?
Stained, Cold Chamber. Cold Chamber was like the big act.
I think Static X was there too. weren't
Static
they?
X was there.
BM5K
RIP to a real one, Wayne Static.
Yep.
was Power Man 5000 at that too?
I
I
don't think they
believe-
were.
Yeah, dude, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
there's-
they were.
Cold
Power Man
Chamber.
5000 was there.
I feel
Cold
like
Chamber.
that's definitely the group of bands.
They had some like
Um,
big names at the time. There.
Was Monster
Yeah.
Magnet there?
No, not Monster Magnet. Slipknot was there, I believe.
Slipknot was there for sure.
Hold on, was Monster
Fear Factory.
was Monster Magnet the Space Lord Mother?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like Rob Zombie's brother or whatever.
Yeah, that's what I thought. No, Rob Zombie's brother is Spider
That
One.
was Power
Yeah,
that's
that's,
Power Man.
that's PM5K.
Yeah, it's Power Man
Oh,
5000.
oh, sorry, you're
Not
talking
Monster
Monster Magnet.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't remember who else was there, but those were kind of some of the big ones.
Was Days of the New there?
I don't believe so.
Because you know what, I still like that album. I'll listen to that one every once in a while too.
That's acoustic rock.
Yeah,
is
it's good
the-
stuff.
That is the first, well, not the first, but one of the progenitor voices of the chin singing voice.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't know my hell. Touch, feel, share, stand, or whatever. Whatever the fuck the name of that song is. That is like one of the progenitor voices. The Scott
The
Stapp.
shelf in the room.
Yeah, you're pushing your chin forward and just that time.
Yeah.
Of thing. So I will finish that. My first concert was CCR.
Nice.
Okay.
After a college football game. We went to the college football game though, and my parents happened to like CCR, so we stayed for the concert. And I was probably like 14, and I was just like, okay, there's a lot of hammered people here, and people
Was it CCR proper or was it Revival or Revisited?
Yes.
the shit. I will have to ask. It might have been revisited.
Because I think you've told this story before, and I think you said it was Revisited.
Yeah, what's interesting is because coming
Who was
full
an OG?
circle, my cousin's wife was John Fogerty's nanny for years and years and years and years. So
Like his kid's nanny or
Yeah,
like
so-
his
John
nanny?
Fogerty's
Okay.
she traveled all over.
She watched him.
She traveled all over the world with them when they did tours. She was like
Okay.
that nanny. So
okay.
She was wiping the drool off the side of his mouth when he would sing out the side of his face.
Fogerty's not in good shape,
He went downhill fast.
real fast.
It's the only way to go downhill.
That I was very excited for was the Deftones with Pitch Shifter opening, and it was the Around the Fur tour, and
Nice.
it was fucking awesome. And I bought a poster, and I had like my dad had to go with, and like he stayed up in seats. He was like, "Fuck this." And I went down to the floor. Well, I bought a poster, and then I was like, hold my shit. And then I went to the floor, went and got the poster afterwards, and everybody but Chi signed the poster because it was at the time where you would like stand on the tour bus. they would sign your shit.
Yeah.
Signed my shit like after the concert. And I was like, this is fucking incredible. This is so great. That was an awesome experience. Just real quick concert experience with my dad to follow up. The next concert I went to was Rob Zombie in El Paso, Texas. And my mom's like, well, you definitely have to go with your father, you know? So my dad and I went and saw Rob Zombie. And Rob Zombie at the time had like 20-foot robots that came out and did all kinds of shit. He had go-go dancers in cages. The bass player played an empty bass that was full of fake blood. And they like poured it all over themselves, like drank it and poured it in the crowd and shit. Just fucking crazy shit. And it was a whole lot of girls flashing. And y'all know my dad. So you'll understand when I do this impression of my dad where we were just watching the show and he's like, he leans over and he goes, well, Mark, there are an awful lot of young women exposing themselves here, aren't there? I was like, yeah, Dad, this is amazing.
Glad I could share this experience with you, Dad.
Yeah.
And
It's
then,
more of a spectacle than the 20-foot robots and the blood-filled basement guitar.
then he leans over at one point and he goes, hey, you know the people in front of us aren't smoking cigarettes, right? And I was like, yeah, I know.
I gave it to him.
No, not at that point. Not at that point.
And if I didn't know now, Dad,
I'm
I'm definitely going to know.
I didn't know that. I
in my
definitely know
future.
that.
Yeah.
But I just thought it was so funny that my dad went and saw Rob Zombie. I guess as a dad, he probably had to see like whatever terrible shit my sister was into as well.
Yeah.
When
Like
she's on the block.
Spice Girls.
Super into NKOTB, dude. She had all the merchandise. That's not
Really?
either. She had like all the merchandise. Obsessed with them.
I only once told a girl in third grade that I liked them because she liked them because I wanted her to like me. That's as far as my New Kids on the Block involvement goes.
I've been sitting here this whole time trying to remember. It's not a mnemonic device, but there's a way that you would say all of their names, and it would be like Danny Joe, John Joe, Jordan, or like whatever they all were. Because my sister would always say that to me when I'd be like, I don't like New Kids on the Block, and she's like, that's just because you don't like whatever all the names were.
You're like, cool.
And I'm like, yeah, you're right. I know.
Hold on. That's her argument? Like, wait, you just don't like New Kids on the Block because you don't like any of the members in the group.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, that's
Yep.
that's the definition of not
That
liking
truly is it.
something.
You know,
You just don't
That's
like,
a real reason to not like them, Mark.
you just don't like liver because you don't like the taste of it.
Yeah.
If you just ate it,
If you
you
just
like it, even if you didn't like the taste of it, you'd eat it. Fucking.
okay, then that leads back. What was the last concert you saw? Can you remember before the pandemic, or if you've seen one since then? So go in reverse order.
Shit.
I guess I'll go first then. If I remember correctly, it's one of two. It was either Father John Misty, which was fucking awesome, and I think it was this one, and this relates to what we were talking about earlier. Mikey and I saw Parquet Courts, and we saw them at First Ave. And what was fucking awesome is when we got in, do you remember how it used to be like you would rush to the merch table, right? You want to go see the merch, buy the merch. You want to get the merch right when you get there. And then you want to get a spot up front, right? We walked in and went right upstairs at First Ave. And there are seats along the railing. And we sat down. And then they bring you drinks. They bring you drinks because there's like a little table in front of you. You don't even have to leave. And the bathroom was right there. So we got to sit, watch the band from like above the soundboard. Like the waitress was bringing us drinks. The restroom was right there. There was nobody fucking like, I don't want the general admission like on the floor anymore. I don't want you spilling your beer on me.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that was, I think, the last concert. I'm pretty sure that's the last concert that I saw. Shall I go?
Okay.
So I was about to say that it was Pearl Jam, but I remembered that I've been to a concert since I moved, because that was before I moved to Chicago. But it's a Korean rapper called DPR Live that we went and saw.
Like in a small.
And it was I can't remember what the venue is. It was a decent sized venue, but it probably holds like maybe 1,500 people or something like that. So it's not huge. It was actually pretty fucking cool. I mean, we were probably some of the oldest people there. By quite a bit. So like they had bars open and you could just walk up to the bar and get a drink like instantly because nobody was drinking because they couldn't. Nobody
had places except Matt and Aman.
Pretty much. So yeah, I mean, and the place wasn't even packed. Like there was like we were kind of on the outskirts near one of the bars, and we could see everything just fine. Nobody was bumping into us, but it was a pretty cool show actually.
Nice.
But before that, we went and saw Pearl Jam when they were on their Lightning Bolt tour, and they played the full one of the full albums.
Was it Yield?
I think it was the full Yield album. I'm trying to think of what songs. I think it's the whatever album has Bugs on it.
I don't know Pearl Jam.
Bugs is
Pearl Jam
Vitalogy. Vitalogy.
Oh, Vitalogy?
Oh, okay, no, maybe not then. Maybe it wasn't that one. But I think they had Bugs playing at one point, but maybe I don't know if it was Vitalogy. I thought it was maybe Yield, but it was like front to back. They played the full album. They were doing that a bunch on that tour.
Yeah, I remember reading about that.
Yeah, and what sucked is we went and saw them in Milwaukee. The night we left to go to Milwaukee was the night they were doing the Minneapolis show, but we didn't get tickets to that one because Iman was in like a lottery thing, and so she got the tickets to Milwaukee for whatever reason.
Oh, dude, you telling me about this?
Yeah,
hey.
But in Minneapolis that night we left, they played the full 10 album.
Yeah,
which would have been way better.
Oh, that's why you were bummed. I remember that very clearly now because you were like, "Fuck you, we got the Milwaukee ones," but shit.
Yeah, it was a good show though. We had seats, so that was nice.
Oh yeah, Sean.
Okay, a close second to last concert was on July 31st. I just checked my phone to confirm. July 31st, 2019. I saw Tenacious D, and then on August 3rd, just a few days after that, my last concert before the shutdown was Wu-Tang.
Oh, that's fucking awesome.
Oh shit! That concert must have been nothing to fuck with.
I went with Josh and Al to X Games, and afterward there was Wu-Tang playing at the Armory, and Al through his work had scored tickets to all of it, so he asked me to come along, and so there I was at a Wu-Tang show.
Hey, like, you can say you saw fucking Wu-Tang.
How many members were there? Was it everybody? I probably wasn't everybody.
Yeah, Sean, name all the members of Wu-Tang Clan.
Use a mnemonic device.
RZA, Jizza, fucking Capadonna,
Joey, Danny.
Obviously, Dirty Bastard.
There was at one point probably 7-8 dudes up there. I don't know. There's a lot.
That's awesome, man.
Because ODB's son does his parts now, I believe. But I think everybody else was whoever's current. I don't know. I never listened to these guys.
Damn, dude. Fucking, I love Wu-Tang. I grew up listening to Wu-Tang. That's fucking badass, man. I would have loved to see that. I know that Rage has toured with Wu-Tang before as well. And I was like, that would be a fucking concert that I would love to see.
Hey, Mark, we got to see De La Soul. So
yeah, that was fucking awesome too.
Dude, De La Soul is awesome.
Yeah, Rage is touring with Run the Jewels now.
Nice. That would be a good show.
That show that we seen the Flaming Lips at is still one of my top 10 concerts, honestly. That was what is it? The Unlimited Sunshine Tour or whatever the hell it's called?
Something I can't remember. Yeah. It was Kinky,
De La Soul,
De La Soul,
Hackensaw Boys,
Cake, Flaming Lips, and Minus the Bear. Or not Minus the Bear, sorry, Modest Mouse.
Yeah. Yep. Not Minus the Bear.
Minus the Bear. Really that was a different show, which was also good.
I think I saw Flaming Lips at St. Paul. Did that one show. It was a tour. It was a fest of it was a 2 days, and they were gonna do it every year. River's Edge. River's Edge.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
I think I was there.
That never got picked up for a second year. They were hoping it was going to be
they did another one. They did they did Father John Misty and the Alabama Shakes were at this one.
Alabama Shakes?
I heard about that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I hadn't seen that one. That was really good.
That was before Brittany Murphy kind of started doing her own thing.
Yeah.
Or whatever. She's the chick from the Alabama Shakes. The lead singer from the Alabama Shakes. She fucking rips, dude.
Oh, her name just happens to be the same as the actress that passed away.
Sorry.
I was confused. I'm like,
what in the Alabama Shakes.
We're an acting group. We don't do solo stuff.
Bearcat, what was the last show you saw?
Oh man, so I think there was probably some after this because we go to zoo concerts all the time, and honestly, if you haven't been to this concert at the Minnesota Zoo, they're a blast. But the one that's the most memorable, I can't think of the ones that are after this, but we seen Jack White at the Armory, and it was probably in the top 3 concerts I've been to. So we got there, and it's Jack White's big on like no recording or no phones or anything. So you had to put your phone in a bag. We just left them in the car. So
that's pretty standard these days for most things now.
Yeah, it is. But it was the first one that I had been to where they actually did that.
Yeah,
I don't go to big name concerts anymore. Can't afford it.
He's coming here sometime next year. I saw.
But anyway, so what we got there and we paid for like VIP, not VIP, but like seats essentially. Because the Armory, I don't know if you guys have been there, but it's a really, really long hall. It doesn't have a lot of elevation to it, so you can't like if you're in the back, you can't see shit. So we're like, let's get seats. And we were really lucky. Like, oh yeah, we got really good seats. They're way up in front. So we got there and we sat down, and literally giant speakers in front of our entire view. So we're like, oh, this is bullshit. Like, this isn't cool. So we actually went and grabbed one of the ushers, and we were talking about it. And I just kind of explained to the guy, I'm like, hey, you know what? This is we paid extra for these seats, and these are really bad. And the guy's like, let me go grab the manager. And he went and grabbed the manager, and the manager is super cool. He's like, all right, come show me your seats. And we took him up there, and he sat down. He's like, these should have never been for sale. Like, quite frankly, he's like, these should never been for sale. So he grabbed us. He grabbed like 3 or 4 people that had already sat down, and they weren't complaining. And then he went and grabbed somebody else and led on the other side. And he said, all those seats over on the other side, there's probably 15, 20 people. Like, you guys come with me. He gave us our entire ticket fee back in cash. He paid for our drinks the whole night, and he put us in the VIP lounge, which is like a balcony right over the stage. And we watched the whole thing from there. It was awesome. And they put on a fantastic show. And honestly, that was probably one of the best concert experiences I've ever had. So
now my question to that would be, so I imagine the concert was good, but I imagine the concert was much better having a fucking boatload of cash in your hand
and free drinks,
pay for your drinks, and being VIP seating.
Yeah, I mean that was pretty good. That was pretty good,
dude. When you brought up Jack White, and then I can't remember if it was Sean or Matt that said that Jack White is coming back here this year. I think it was you, Sean, because I got a call from the Armory that said Jack White is coming. He looks like a fucking Tim Burton character now.
Isn't it weird? His hair's like blue or something and combed over.
Looking like Coraline. Shit.
Yeah, it was very
phenomenal musician though. Honestly.
Fantastic.
I don't know musicianship. I'm just saying. I was like, I looked at him. I was like, man, what the shit is going on here, dude?
I'm upset because I didn't go to when the Raconteurs released their most recent album. They did a show at the Armory, and I didn't go.
And my cousin invited me to go too, and the tickets were like $120 or some shit like that.
Yeah, that's probably one of the reasons why I didn't
justify that.
Bearcat, how much were those VIP tickets at the Armory? Because we saw Father John Misty there, and I was like, it was awesome. I had this experience. This is interesting. Speaking of that, we got there early, me and Mike, and like we were kind of on the floor, like where the bars are on the side, but on the main level or whatever. And like we just went and stood up against those metal railings, and I was standing there while I kept leaving to go get drinks, right? And it, that place fills up. And then all of a sudden I would be coming back with like 2 beers, and I'd be like, oh, excuse me. And I actually had the experience of some lady going, well, maybe you shouldn't be standing in the front because you're tall. And I turned and I looked at her. I was like, well, maybe you should have got here earlier. I don't know what you want me to do about this. This is my fucking spot, So, I mean, I felt bad, but like, fuck off, So anyway, I was thinking about I was thinking about like next time I go to a show, I'd love to see a show at that venue. And I looked into like some of the ticket prices, and they look really fucking expensive, and they really look only worth it if like you're going with more than just 2 people. Like,
so
it was 4 or 6 or 8 people, and then maybe it's worth it.
So it was just 3 of us. We got it was my wife and my sister-in-law that went. I want to say they were like 110, so they weren't cheap. But Jack White, man, I'll pay to see him. He's on my bucket list.
No, that's not terrible, dude. I was thinking that you were saying you got those seats and they were going to be like $250.
No, they weren't that much. Actually, you know what? They may have been like in the 90s. I don't think they were over $100. So I feel like I would have a hard time swallowing $100 to go see a show.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, that's not a good idea to do.
I mean,
I think $100.
metaphorically,
You probably wouldn't make it to the show.
Yeah,
No.
you'd have to go. You might have to go to the doctor.
I would
That's
only
a
pay
stiff
$100 if I shouldn't say that. I would never go to a show and pay $100 if I didn't really like them. Like anything more than that would have to be a band that I fucking am dying to see
Yes.
and I haven't seen before and I'm willing to pay the money. Otherwise, it's like even when you get to like $50, it's really, dude, $50.
Agreed.
Dude, that's why I love the zoo concert tickets, because they're like usually in like the $25 to like $40 range. And you go there early, you can walk around the zoo while all the kids are like gone. And you can walk around the zoo and it's like starting to close and there's nobody there. It's awesome. And then you go to the concert and it's outdoor and it's not a huge venue and they don't have like super high end actor or names, bands or whatever, but they have like some solid B-list stuff. And
I mean, Jack White's up there, you know.
on the zoo, at the zoo?
Didn't you say that's where you saw him?
No, you saw,
No,
He's
no,
not
no.
at
He was at
Armory.
the Armory. The Armory.
you saw
Sorry.
Mason Jennings at the zoo. I know you saw Mason at the zoo.
Yep. We've seen the Jayhawks there. We've seen
Fucking Jayhawks rule, dude. I love
Blondie.
Jayhawks.
Four on the Floor. Blondie was awesome. We've seen God dang it, what the heck is his name? I don't know. Some older like country, old school country western people.
I remember going
We've
to.
seen Harmar Superstar there.
Well, now Harmar Superstar.
Yeah, he's a little taboo now, but that was before all this stuff happened.
Yeah. Speaking of spending over $100 on a ticket to a concert, Sean, how many Tool shows are you going to be seeing at some point here?
4.
Sean has 4 different Tool shows he's bought tickets for.
Next March.
All
I'm
of
going-
them, I think, over $100 a piece.
No.
No, close. They're floating that range.
Are
They're
you
all floating
traveling?
that $100 range. They're not all local.
Yeah, there's 2 shows in Illinois, one here and then one in Iowa? No,
What the fuck
Nebraska.
do
I
they play in
forget.
Iowa?
Yeah, you'll cross that bridge.
Cedar
when you get there.
Rapids?
It'll
Some
probably
place big enough.
maybe Quad Cities.
Cedar Rapids and
Yeah.
But this is round 2 of Sean's mini Midwest Tool tour.
Yeah, and I thought of this earlier the other day. The last time I did it was when their last album came out.
Oh, there you go. So it was 13 years ago. 14 years ago.
Yeah, 2006.
2006.
I'm like, oh my god.
Well, they had that one. I'm assuming they're playing their new one. I can't think of the name.
Well,
of it.
they'll play. I'm sure they'll play that and other songs.
Yeah, they were.
They
I
won't.
mean,
Yeah, they won't like leave the new songs out. They're just like, nope, this is just old stuff. Hope
I
you
mean,
guys
because they were
enjoy.
supposed to come here. It was something like May of 2020. Then everything
Yeah.
happened, and so then they canceled all that, and so they just rebooked a new tour. And Rage is touring at the same time. I'm like, why didn't they just like talk to each other and line up and tour together like they used to
Yeah.
back in the
That'd
day?
be fantastic.
That would've been-
I'd go see that show.
Awesome show.
They could have performed Know Your Enemy.
I've seen Tool enough that I don't necessarily need to see them anymore, but I have not seen Rage, and I want to see Rage.
I would love to see Rage. Yeah, Sean asked me if I wanted to go see Tool with him when he comes to Illinois, and I said, "How much are the tickets?" And he told me, "I'm like, I'm good." I'm like, I've seen Tool like 7 times. I
I
fine.
know. That's another thing I did though. I'm like, well, I could either just like plan to go alone, or I could just buy 2 tickets to every show and then
Yeah, that's
see
the
if I
other.
can find someone to go to this one or this one or this one. Or
Yeah,
try
so
to sell one off.
Sean not only bought 4 tickets to go to all these Tool concerts, he bought 8 tickets to go to all these Tool concerts.
It was stupid.
It's insane.
Sometimes you spend $1,000. It's fine. It happens.
It was just under
Yeah.
1,000. I think.
It was like 8 something, and I planned to get half of it back. You know,
You plan to.
I planned
I mean,
to.
that's a cool experience, though. I mean, you'll be able to find tickets.
Yeah, I think like back in 2006 when you did it, I probably would have been more keen to doing it at that point, but also probably wouldn't have financially been able to do it at that point.
Yeah, absolutely.
I
owned
think
a
I
house
probably
at that
asked you. I probably asked you if you wanted to go, but I know that
I don't
Travis
remember.
ended up going with me.
He went to all of them with you?
Well, he went to the one in Minnesota. Like that was just
Yeah.
other people had tickets to that one too. But yeah, Travis went with me to the one in Iowa and the one in. So he went with me to 2 of them. There's one
Okay.
in Iowa, and then one in Peoria. And then there was the last one was at I think it's called Summerfest,
Okay.
which was in Wisconsin. It
Is
was
that
on like 4th of July.
Alpine Music Valley?
And yeah, I think so. And Sarah went with me to that one. And then I forget who all went to the Minnesota one that time. I don't remember who was there.
Yeah, I don't think I went to that one because I don't think I've seen Tool in forever at this point.
Yeah, I haven't seen Tool in so long.
Yeah.
But you're
I
coming with
went,
me to Rage, right, Matt?
Also undecided, I guess. I don't.
Oh.
Well, because has that date even been like
Yeah.
officialized yet?
Yeah, one of the last
Officially.
times I was over at your place, I asked you if you wanted to
Oh.
come into town for it.
Yeah,
it's
I,
like
I have to come home for it.
I want to say it's March. Or I'm
Yeah.
sorry, I want to say it's May of next year.
A dude at my a dude at my job got tickets for that, and he is a guy who's coming to that from Run the Jewels, and he's oh god, how old is he? I don't know, kind of mid to early 20s, and he's like, I fucking love Run the Jewels, and I was like, yeah, dude, I fucking love Run the Jewels as well, and he goes, and then I found out about Rage. You guys fucking rule. I was like, yeah, dude, you're gonna have a good
How do you
time.
just find out?
I know.
It's so weird when you when people don't know about a band that's like ridiculously popular and just like, how have you not ever
Because you're getting
heard
old,
of this?
man.
It's
Well,
because we're all old.
Well, it's that, and they've
I refuse.
they've disappeared. You know, they've been
Yeah.
not together for a well over like 20 years. They haven't really been together.
Yeah.
Right.
So
And
it's not surprising.
they're just touring. They're not doing any new albums, right?
Yeah, they're just touring. I don't know.
But Zach has
They
been on
need to
like
do an album.
every Run the Jewels album. So
Yeah, it's like Zach De La Rocha can't be bothered to work with his old band anymore.
I don't know. Do you want to hear a funny story about
No.
Zach recording? Apparently, I was watching a Run the Jewels interview, and on the latest album, like they have a song called God damn it, I can't remember what it's called. Something like the chorus is, "Look at all these slave masters posing on your dollar." It's called Just, J-U-S-T, Just. And it's got Pharrell and it's got Zach De La Rocha on it. And like they sent the track to Zach to like do his part over or whatever. And he did it and then sent it back. And then they were like, oh, okay. This is cool. It sounds kind of weird though. Like, is this just your demo? And he's like, no, I just recorded it on my microphone. And they were like, what microphone? And he told them what kind of microphone. And apparently it's like not obsolete, but like kind of a, why would you use that microphone?
Yeah.
And they were like, oh, okay. Is that like your final take or whatever? And he goes, yeah, this is literally what I record every single Rage song with. And then the engineer was like there with Killer Mike and something, or no, he was there with LP. And LP was like, fuck, I mean, the guy sings Killing in the Name of through this microphone. I'm not going to tell him how to live his life.
Yeah, yeah.
He's like, he knows what he's doing. This is what he wants it to sound like. And they ran with it. And like, I don't know if you guys are big Run the Jewels fans, but like, it sounds fucking really cool on the track. And it also contributes to Zach's sound, like that fucking kind of like crispy, like almost staticky sound that he has when he comes through on some things, you know?
Yeah.
It's that microphone with the big fucking cord, you know, it's the very famous one. It's got the big black cord and it looks like the old Radio City mic or whatever.
Right.
So I thought that was very funny that was his take on recording is to use that kind of equipment. It makes sense.
These young whippersnappers are like, what? Are you sure you want to use this?
Yeah, you're not using a very like ridiculously expensive
They're like, we
like
record everything.
Shure microphone or
We record everything on VR headsets now.
yeah, probably.
Or just basement recording onto their MacBooks or whatever. But
Right. Have you heard the mics on the new MacBook?
prefer-
They're like just as
yeah.
good as professional mics now.
I prefer reel to reel.
yeah, what was that?
Reel to reel or cassette tape.
What was Neil Young's thing? Pio, something like that. He released that was supposed to be the super high end, like high fidelity digital recording, like above MP3. It cost a bunch of money. He backed it, and he was like, "You can definitely hear the difference." It's like,
Yeah.
I mean,
He released it on mini disc.
It was the laser. Yeah, it was the laser disc of its time
Yeah.
for audio recording.
the same thing like Jay-Z did Tidal or whatever, right? And like, what happened with Tidal? Like,
Yeah, I just recently found out that was a thing that happened briefly.
yeah. And then
What
I
is
mean,
that?
it's still a
It was-
thing
it
that's
was
happening.
like-
It's still out there.
Is it? Oh, it's
Yeah.
like it was like
You can still download it.
it was their like music sharing service or some shit. Yeah.
Oh, wait, I kind of remember that.
Yeah.
They're trying to have like a streaming service in a way, right?
Right. They were. It was
They're
like
trying to compete with Spotify.
Yep, bringing exclusivity, like bringing people in to just directly perform on their platform or whatever. Kind of like we're going to release all our stuff this way. Which, speaking of platform stuff, Bearcat will definitely agree. I am so sick of every time, and probably Schlegel. Every time
You're sick of me?
every time I look at my phone when I open my music app, because I am not subscribed to Apple Music, it's like, hey, do you want to try a month free? And I'm just like, oh, get the fuck out of my face. And then a little bit later, it's like, hey, what about 3 months? And then a little bit later, it's like, can I entice you with 6? And I'm like, no, it's not going to happen.
You didn't like this original deal. How about a slightly worse one?
It's like when I go to YouTube and
then it's like, is 6 months too much? What about 1?
Yeah. Well, and then you go to YouTube and they're like, hey, we know you hate these ads. Before we even show you these ads, would you be willing to pay money not to see these ads?
Yeah. Here's an ad telling you.
Fuck out of my way. This is ridiculous. And then the ad starts and I'm like, God, I would pay almost anything to get over these 10 seconds. Just petulant like a child.
Or the 4 seconds you have to wait before it says skip ads and you can skip.
Yeah. And they are so good about how they put it in a certain video you're watching. Like something epic is about to happen in this video and then ad.
Yeah.
Come the fuck on.
Of course. Oh, and they're also very perfect at creating earworms, like the goodbye, hello number.
Oh, the freaking Google-fi ads. Those can die a slow death. Right. Holy crap.
Awful.
There was something that popped up for me on YouTube, and it was offering YouTube Premium for free for like a month or 2 months or something. And I accidentally clicked on it. So now I already put in for it to cancel once it's the free thing is up. But right now I have YouTube Premium and I forget about it. Like if I'm on my phone watching it and I'll swipe up and YouTube will go into the picture-in-picture window and keep playing. I'm like, what? YouTube doesn't do this.
You can also lock your phone and it'll keep playing.
My YouTube is temperamental as hell. Like sometimes it will just be it'll keep playing even if I minimize it. It'll pop down in a little screen. I don't have premium or anything. But it's like when I want it to do it, it won't do it. But when I'm just like, we're gonna close out of this, then it'll keep playing. I'm like, son of a bitch.
Mine does that too. As long as your screen is on, it's not gonna stop playing. But
it's just weird when it decides it wants to do it. I just don't. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what the trigger is for doing it. I think it's only when you minimize if you swipe up on your phone.
I don't know. It's sometimes it will, sometimes it won't. Like sometimes I'll like go to like open a different app and it'll minimize. Another time I'll do it and it just all of a sudden closes. I'm just like, whatever.
I remember when the iPhone first had picture-in-picture, YouTube right away was like, nope, we're not doing that. And at first, instead of going onto the YouTube app, if you went onto the YouTube website from the browser, you could do it that way as a workaround. But of course, YouTube, Google very quickly.
And it's like, why?
Nothing less.
No.
Because, it's the same thing we've talked about multiple times. It's a misery index, right? What are you willing to pay for? They're not going to give you all of these services, right? They're going to offer them as amenities because you have the freedom to choose them and you can pay. Yeah. Would you like not watch advertisements or make this thing work? Would you like more legroom in the plane? Would you like to bring a bag along?
That's why, I hate YouTube for that reason.
I enjoy being average height.
Dude, the biggest travesty was when they killed Google Play and they switched everything to YouTube Music. Man, I am so pissed about it.
You have been on us so much.
I invested time and effort converting all of my library into Google Play, right? I had all my shit up online. I had like 80 gigs of music that I am, all of the stuff that I've collected throughout my childhood where I've ripped stuff on there. And
you scanned all your pages.
Yeah, but I can still get at it on Google or on whatever YouTube Music. But it is such a pain in the ass. And not only that, but it's not supported on Android Auto, which is literally the only time I fucking listen to music is when I'm in my car and I can't get at it anymore. And it's such a freaking, I don't know. I gotta find a better platform.
Bearcat's like a guy who invested all his money in Vine.
I'm bitter.
Vine,
right?
He's like, no, guys, this is gonna last forever.
Yeah,
everyone's gonna
only
watch
once
second videos.
Shame on me,
dude. Flappy Bird, Flappy Bird's so good.
But yeah,
put all your money in Flappy Bird.
Doubling down on Flappy Bird.
Well, because what came right before that, though, wasn't that?
I'm going all in on the Catch Me Outside. How about that, girl?
Yeah, well,
I don't know what that is.
Nope. Okay.
This seems like a great place to end.
Enter part 1. How about that?
Yeah, how about that?
Go back to
Yep.
part 2.
Hey, we're gonna close out part 1 of this episode. Catch us outside. How about that?
I mean, that might be what it's called.
I got something better down, I think.
Okay, we'll discuss later.
We are on TikTok now, which makes us even cooler. HS Famous. Find us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at hsfamouspod. Email us directly at highschoolfamous@gmail.com. We have Patreon too, but you'll never go there. Altogether, our hearts beat as one.